Start. Ahí está. Hello, everyone. Welcome to the Michigan Fair Bicycle Boulevard virtual town hall. We're so happy to be here with you guys. My name is Fernanda Quintanilla. I'm the management assistant for the City of Tucson, Department of Transportation and Mobility. Bienvenidos a la reunión virtual de Michigan Fair Boulevard de Bicicletas. Me llamo Fernanda Quintanilla. Soy la gerente de asistencia de la ciudad de Tucson. Y estamos muy agradecidos de estar aquí con ustedes. ¿Por qué estamos aquí? Why are we here? So, we are working on improvements in your area. We want your input. This is your community, this is your neighborhood, and we want to make sure that you're involved in the whole process from the beginning to end. This is where you live. And second of all, you, the city voters, approved this improvement for pedestrian and bicycle safety across our community. And three, we've been receiving a lot of concerns from the neighborhood regarding traffic volume, vehicle speeds, cut through traffic, quality of life. So So these are all concerns that impact your neighborhood and the area around you, and we want to make sure that we address them. So, ¿por qué estamos aquí? Estamos trabajando en mejoras en tu área y queremos tu opinión. Queremos escuchar de ustedes en el vecindario. Los votantes de la ciudad aprobaron mejoras a la infraestructura de peatones y ciclistas a lo largo de la ciudad. Y hemos recibido comentarios de la comunidad con respecto a el volumen vehicular, las velocidades de los carros que no se sienten seguros, el tráfico transversal y la calidad de vida. Y ahorita queremos discutir esas cosas con ustedes. So here's our agenda. First, we're going to discuss the Michigan Fair Bicycle Boulevard, give you an overview of the project, the different elements, and kind of show you some of the different options that we're looking at. Then we're going to talk about the Fairgrounds Neighborhood Slow Streets project. This is something kind of new that we've piloted in the area, and we want to get your feedback. And then we're going to do questions and comments on both of these projects. And after that, we'll have a quick one-question poll for each of those projects. And just to keep in mind, at any time during the presentation, you can submit a comment or a question in the chat box. You'll see on the right side of your screen, there's two little talking bubbles with a question mark. Just click that. You can put in your comments. If you're on the phone, we ask that you wait to ask your questions until the time comes, but you will be able to unmute yourself pressing *6. La discusión hoy primero va a empezar con Michigan Fair Boulevard de Bicicletas, que va a empezar en construcción en otoño del 2020. Después vamos a platicar sobre el proyecto de calles lentes en el vecindario de Fairgrounds. Después de eso vamos a tomar preguntas y escuchar sus comentarios sobre los proyectos. Y luego vamos a tener dos breves encuestas sobre los proyectos. Por favor, mantengan en su mente que a cualquier tiempo puede meter sus comentarios o sus preguntas. En la cajita de chat ves que hay dos burbujitas y un punto de exclamación y puede nomás picarle ahí a la derecha y meter sus preguntas. Y si está en el teléfono, también va a haber tiempo para que ustedes pregunten y nos den sus comentarios. Y ahorita vamos a ver la presentación.
Good evening. My name is Ryan Fagan, and I'm a project manager with the City of Tucson Department of Transportation and Mobility. Buenas tardes. Me llamo Ryan Fagan. Soy gerente de proyectos en el Departamento de Transporte y Movilidad de la Ciudad de Tucson. In November 2018, Tucson voters approved Proposition 407, a collection of bicycle and pedestrian projects and park improvements. You can see here a map showing all of the projects. As part of Proposition 407, there are over 50 bicycle and pedestrian improvement projects planned to improve walking and biking in Tucson, to provide better connections from people's homes to parks, schools, shopping, and other destinations.
En noviembre de 2018, los votantes de Tucson aprobaron la Proposición 407, un conjunto de proyectos para bicicletas y peatones y mejoras de parques. En este mapa se puede ver todos los proyectos. Como parte de la Proposición 407, hay más de 50 proyectos para mejorar las rutas para bicicletas y peatones planificados en Tucson para proporcionar mejores conexiones desde los hogares a parques, escuelas, tiendas y otros destinos.
Most of the planned projects are bicycle boulevards. Bicycle boulevards use residential streets to provide a cross-town network for walking and biking. These projects are based on concepts in our city's Bicycle Boulevard Master Plan. In total, we'll be building more than 100 miles of bicycle boulevards over the next several years as part of Proposition 407.
La mayoría de los proyectos planificados son bulevares de bicicletas. Los bulevares de bicicletas usan calles residenciales para proporcionar una red para caminar y andar en bicicleta. Estos proyectos se basan en conceptos del Plan Maestro de Bicycle Boulevard de nuestra ciudad. En total, construiremos más de 100 millas de bulevares de bicicletas en los próximos años como parte de la Proposición 407.
So bicycle boulevards make improvements to residential streets to make them better for walking and biking. They're designed to enhance the local character of the street by providing traffic calming to slow car traffic and reduce cut-through traffic. For most of the Michigan Fair Bicycle Boulevard, this mostly consists of speed humps and landscape traffic circles. Additionally, enhanced push-button crossing signals are used to help walkers and riders cross busy roads.
Los bulevares de bicicletas mejoran las calles residenciales para que sean mejores para caminar y andar en bicicleta. Están diseñadas para mejorar el carácter local de la calle al reducir la velocidad del tráfico vehicular y el volumen de tráfico, y se utilizarán señales de cruces mejoradas para ayudar a los peatones y ciclistas a cruzar las calles.
There are lots of reasons why we're planning to build more bicycle boulevards. The goal of these projects is to provide safe and comfortable bike routes that are usable by people of all ages and abilities. And we find that when we build them, more people do ride. They encourage more people to ride by providing a comfortable bike route. They slow down car traffic and reduce traffic cutting through neighborhoods to make for calmer streets, and they have a great safety record.
Hay muchas razones por las que planeamos construir más bulevares de bicicletas. El objetivo de estos proyectos es proporcionar rutas en bicicleta seguras y cómodas que las personas de todas las edades y capacidades puedan usar. Alientan a más personas a andar en bicicleta al proporcionar una ruta cómoda para bicicletas, reducen la velocidad del tráfico de automóviles y reducen el tráfico que atraviesa los vecindarios, creando calles más tranquilas y con un excelente historial de seguridad.
For the Michigan Fair Bicycle Boulevard and other bicycle boulevards that we're planning in the area, we held a total of 6 events from September to December of last year. We sent flyers to people within a quarter mile of the project area, and we used email, social media, and phone calls to inform people about the projects and the opportunities to provide input on them. In addition, 4 of the 6 events were planned as part of other community events to reach a wider audience, and were held in conjunction with a popular group bike ride, community center events, and lunchtime at a nearby restaurant. Most of the people who came to participate came to one of these events. Not as many came to the more traditional open houses. In total, we had 99 people sign in at these events and received a total of 85 survey responses, and 45 notes were made on maps of the area that were provided at those events. We're always looking for ways to improve and reach more people, so if you have ideas for how we can do better with outreach, please let us know. We especially want to know if you have any interesting ideas that will work right now when it's harder for us to meet face to face.
Para el Boulevard de Bicicletas Michigan Fair y otros bulevares de bicicletas que estamos planeando en el área, realizamos un total de 6 eventos participativos de septiembre a diciembre del año pasado. Se enviaron invitaciones para participar a los vecinos dentro de un cuarto de milla del área del proyecto y utilizamos correo electrónico, redes sociales y llamadas telefónicas para informar a las personas sobre los proyectos y las oportunidades de dar su opinión. Además, 4 de los 6 eventos se planificaron como parte de otros eventos de la comunidad para llegar a un público más amplio y se llevaron a cabo junto con un popular paseo en bicicleta grupal, eventos del centro comunitario y la hora de almuerzo en un restaurante local. La mayoría de las personas que vinieron a participar vinieron a uno de estos eventos y no muchos vinieron a las reuniones más tradicionales. En total, tuvimos 99 personas que registraron en estos eventos y recibimos un total de 85 respuestas a la encuesta y se tomaron 45 notas en los mapas del área. Siempre estamos buscando formas de mejorar y llegar a más personas, por lo que si tiene ideas sobre cómo podemos mejorar con las actividades participativas, háganoslo saber. Especialmente queremos saber si tiene ideas geniales que funcionen en este momento cuando sea más difícil reunirse cara a cara.
As part of the first round of public events in September and October, we presented 2 options for the alignment of the project between Liberty Avenue and the Union Pacific Railroad line. There are pros and cons to each option, and we wanted to hear from the community about the 2 alternatives. Just to review where the project goes, the west end of the project starts by the Santa Cruz River at Kostka Avenue and continues along Michigan over Interstate 19, across 12th Avenue to Liberty Avenue. Between Liberty and the railroad line, the 2 options we're considering are Michigan Drive and Pennsylvania Drive. The route continues east across Park Avenue to Benson Highway. Looking at the 2 options, Michigan Drive has the benefit of providing a more direct connection to the rest of the bike boulevard. However, it has more car traffic than what is ideal on a bike boulevard. Pennsylvania Drive is less direct, being approximately 300 feet north of Michigan, but it has much less car traffic. At the meetings, we received 3 comments in favor of Pennsylvania and 1 for Michigan. Further discussions and the Fairgrounds Slow Street project have led us to ask again for your input.
Como parte de la primera ronda de eventos públicos en septiembre y octubre, presentamos 2 opciones para la alineación del proyecto entre Liberty Avenue y Union Pacific Railroad. Hay ventajas y desventajas en cada opción y queríamos saber la opinión de la comunidad acerca de las 2 alternativas. Solo para revisar a dónde va el proyecto, el extremo oeste del proyecto comienza junto al río Santa Cruz en la avenida Kostka y continúa a lo largo de Michigan sobre la calle I-19 cruzando la 12th Avenue hasta Liberty. Entre Liberty y la línea del ferrocarril, las 2 opciones que estamos considerando son Michigan Drive y Pennsylvania Drive. La ruta continúa hacia al este a través de Park Avenue hasta Benson Highway. Michigan Drive tiene la ventaja de proporcionar una conexión más directa con el resto del Boulevard de bicicletas. Sin embargo, tiene más tráfico de automóviles de lo que es ideal en un Boulevard de bicicletas. Pennsylvania Drive es menos directo, se encuentra aproximadamente a 300 pies al norte de Michigan, pero tiene mucho menos tráfico de automóviles. En las reuniones donde presentamos las 2 opciones, recibimos algunos comentarios a favor de Pennsylvania, pero ninguno a favor de Michigan. En las reuniones, recibimos 3 comentarios a favor de Pennsylvania y 1 para Michigan. Más discusiones y el proyecto de Slow Streets de Fairgrounds nos ha llevado a pedir nuevamente su opinión.
We are planning to finish design on the project next month and expect to start construction this fall. This concludes the presentation on the Michigan Fair Bicycle Boulevard. After the presentation on Slow Streets, we'll respond to your questions and comments about both projects and have a quick poll.
Estamos planeando terminar el diseño del proyecto el próximo mes y esperamos comenzar la construcción este otoño. Esto concluye la presentación sobre Michigan Fair Bicycle Boulevard. Ahora vamos a tener una presentación sobre las calles lentas. Después vamos a tener una encuesta pequeña y vamos a recibir sus preguntas.
Good evening, everyone. My name is Gabriela Varias Longoria, and I am a planner at the City of Tucson Department of Transportation and Mobility. I'll be sharing a bit about the Slow Streets pilot program and get your thoughts on next steps. Buenas tardes, me llamo Gabriela Varias Longoria y soy una planificadora en el Departamento de Transporte y Movilidad. Esta tarde voy a compartir un poco sobre el programa de calles lentas. y ver lo que ustedes piensan sobre los próximos pasos. Slow streets aim to reduce traffic volume and keep speed at a minimum so that people can walk, bike, and move safely while staying at least 6 feet apart from each other. Slow streets are neighborhood streets with low car volumes and low to moderate speeds. They are temporary installations. Ones in phase 1 lasted approximately 2 weeks to calm traffic and be able to observe, evaluate, and get neighborhood feedback.
El programa de calles lentas reduce el tráfico y la velocidad vehicular para que las personas puedan caminar y andar en bicicleta de forma segura y manteniendo una distancia de al menos 6 pies. Las calles lentas son calles residenciales con poco volumen vehicular a velocidad baja o moderada. Hacen uso de instalaciones temporales y duran aproximadamente 2 semanas para calmar el tráfico, observar, monitorear y conocer la opinión de los vecinos.
One way we evaluated the pilot program was the walk and talk. So last week we had a walk and talk with neighbors, the Ward 5 office, Director Diana Alarcon, and other transportation and mobility staff like myself, where we got to walk the street together, gather more information from residents, and have a conversation about how we could make the street safer for everyone, especially for those who live in the neighborhood. Here are some photos from the walk and talk.
Walk and Talk o caminar y platicar es una forma de evaluar el programa piloto de calles lentas. La semana pasada tuvimos un Walk and Talk con los miembros de la comunidad del Distrito 5, la directora Diana Alarcón y el equipo del Departamento de Transporte. Aquí pudimos conversar sobre la importancia de la seguridad en el vecindario. Aquí tenemos unas imágenes del evento.
So phase 1 for the Slow Street pilot took place on East Michigan Drive from South 6th Avenue to Fair and on South 4th Avenue from Ajo to Michigan. It lasted approximately 12 days from June 10th to June 22nd. This came about to address resident concerns, which primarily consisted of speeding and cut-through traffic. We did outreach in the form of flyers with the help of our wonderful neighborhood steward, Clara, and also we gathered feedback via the walk and talk and the online survey, which is still active if you haven't had a chance to let us know what you thought.
So, la fase primera de Slow Streets, el piloto de calles lentas, la ubicación fue en East Michigan Drive entre South 6th y Fair y South 4th Avenue entre Ajo y Michigan. El programa fue desde el 10 de junio al 22 de junio, aproximadamente 12 días. Y este evento ocurrió porque los residentes del vecindario tenían varias preocupaciones de la velocidad de los autos y el tráfico transversal. El alcance comunitario que hicimos fueron flyers en los vecindarios y también tuvimos una voluntaria en la vecindad que nos ayudó a que los residentes sepan del evento. Y los comentarios fueron el walk and talk y también tuvimos una encuesta.
So here are comments that we heard from residents. So first, speeding on Michigan and that the road is too wide. We also heard that there is quite a bit of cut-through traffic on 4th Avenue onto Michigan from Ajo. We heard that drivers tend to not stop at a stop sign on Michigan and Fair. We heard from a couple grandparents saying that they didn't feel safe letting their kids play or ride their bikes on the street in front of their homes, and that on-street parking is very important to residents.
So, lo que escuchamos de los residentes durante este evento fue que hay varios carros que van a exceso de velocidad en Michigan y la calle es demasiado ancha. Y cuando las calles son anchas, los carros prefieren ir más rápido. Hay mucho tráfico transversal entre el vecindario en 4th y Michigan, y los conductores no se detienen en el alto de Michigan Fair. Los abuelos del vecindario no se sienten seguros en dejar sus nietos jugar en la calle, y el estacionamiento en la calle es muy importante para los residentes.
Based on what we heard, here's what we can do.
Esto es lo que podemos hacer basado en lo que hemos escuchado.
So here's what East Michigan Drive looks like now. You have a wide 44-foot street, a sidewalk on both sides, and unmarked parking, meaning there's no designated spots with paint, but a lot of curbside parking that is being used. Let's think of it this way. We have 44 feet to work with, and we want you to help us figure out what we can do with that space based on your needs and priorities, such as on-street parking, shared use paths for walking and biking, and of course, travel lanes for vehicles.
Tenemos 44 pies con los que podemos trabajar y necesitamos su ayuda para definir cómo mejor usar el espacio basado en las necesidades y prioridades del área, como estacionamiento vehicular, espacios compartidos para caminar y andar en bicicleta y carriles vehiculares. Esta opción conserva el estacionamiento vehicular enseguida de la banqueta, además de añadir un espacio de amortiguamiento que puede ser usado para caminar, andar en bicicleta o simplemente reducir el ancho del carril vehicular para reducir la velocidad de los carros.
So based on what we've heard, here's one design option that we discussed on our walk and talk. By adding paint to narrow down the travel lanes for cars passing through and marking designated parking spaces where people park, you can reduce speeding by slowing people down, and so they are more respectful when using the street to get through the neighborhood. This concept has on-street parking next to the curb, just as you have now with optional markings, like you see on the left. Then we have a 5-foot buffer lane that can be used for walking, biking, or simply to create a narrower street to guide drivers to slow down and look out for each other. And the option I just spoke about was option A up on top. So now looking at the second option below, option B, where we flipped the 5-foot buffer lane with the on-street parking. Here the parked cars protect people in the 5-foot buffer lane, and you have an extension of the 6-foot sidewalk in some senses. So you have a total of 11 feet for you to use as you wish. We achieve a similar result of slowing down people driving and encouraging folks to look out for each other. In this diagram, you will see parking moves away from the curb to allow flexible space for things like walking, getting mail, biking, or maybe even street art.
Una segunda opción, la opción B, tiene los 5 pies del espacio de amortiguamiento entre la banqueta y el estacionamiento. De esta manera, los carros estacionados protegen a la gente que se encuentra usando la zona de amortiguamiento, además de ampliar la banqueta de 6 a 11 pies a cada lado para el uso y disfrute de la comunidad. Esta opción también logra reducir la velocidad vehicular y motiva a que las personas se cuiden entre sí. En el diagrama se observa que como el espacio entre la banqueta y el estacionamiento se puede usar de manera flexible para caminar, recoger el correo, andar en bicicleta o hasta para pintar y jugar.
Here's a bird's eye view to show you what the added pavement markings or yellow lines might look like just by adding paint on the ground. This slide shows the first segment from South 6th Avenue to 4th Avenue, this is an initial concept for East Michigan. So to know, the pilot ended on Monday, and these drawings were created this week. And so they are very much in draft form, and we're working to refine them. They show what added pavement markings in yellow could look like to designate spaces for parking, people driving, walking, or biking. We would value your input to continue to refine this. In the next 2 slides, I'm going to walk us through the rest of East Michigan Drive.
Aquí tenemos una vista aérea que muestra las marcas amarillas sobre el pavimento y podemos ver los grandes cambios que se logran con solo un poco de pintura. El segmento en la imagen es desde South 6th Avenue hasta 4th Avenue. Este es un concepto inicial para East Michigan Drive. Cabe aclarar que el programa piloto acabó el lunes. Valoramos tu opinión para refinar la idea y ver cómo mejor usar el espacio de la calle para las personas que quieren caminar, andar en bicicleta y manejar. Las siguientes dos dispositivas son las otras partes de East Michigan Drive.
This is the segment just east of where we left off on the last slide, with the yellow lines on the road, which would be new to this street.
Este es el segmento al este de la imagen en la diapositiva anterior, también con pintura amarilla.
And we recognize there are some areas where we can add paint and flexible materials to create traffic calming elements like a traffic circle or a bulb out, also known as a curb cut, which makes the driver slow down. Again, the goal is to slow down and calm traffic. Based on your feedback tonight, we will use that moving forward as we get ready for to complete the project later this year. In the coming weeks and months, we will continue to work with the Ward 5 office and neighborhood residents. We imagine this being designed and installed before the end of the year.
Reconocemos que además de usar pintura amarilla, podemos usar otros elementos como glorietas para reducir la velocidad vehicular, la meta del programa de calles lentas. De acuerdo a los comentarios que recibamos hoy, nos servirán para avanzar en este proyecto. En las siguientes semanas y meses nos seguiremos reuniendo con Ward 5 y los vecinos del área para conseguir un diseño e implementarlo antes del final del año. Now we're going to have a time for questions. If you're on the phone and you'd like to ask a question, please press *6 and state your name to unmute yourself. Ahora vamos a tomar preguntas. Si está en el teléfono, nomás tiene que aplastar el asterisco y el número 6 para poder platicar. So one of the first questions we have here from our audience is, why buffer, not bike lanes? So Ryan, would you like to answer that? Ryan, you're muted.
Apologize. I think this pertains to the Slow Streets project. So Gabriela might be a better person to answer this.
Sure, yeah, I can speak to that. So that's a good question. We're responding to what we've heard so far from folks, and we've heard some comments that people wouldn't necessarily want a marked bike lane on Michigan. So that's really open to discussion, and it's ultimately up to people that live on that street. So I'd like to continue that conversation, but those are modifications that could be made pretty easily. So instead of those striped diagonal lines, you could have a sharrow or a bike lane pavement marking.
La pregunta fue, ¿por qué? Why buffer, not bike lanes? ¿Por qué quieren carriles de bicicletas protegidos? Y los detalles del diseño son para los residentes. Queremos que ellos tengan las opciones, y hemos escuchado de los residentes de Michigan que no quieren que pintemos los carriles de bicicleta, pero ahorita queremos escuchar de ustedes, queremos tener esas discusiones y queremos ver qué desean ustedes en su comunidad.
And I want to add one thing that we of course haven't heard from every single resident on Michigan. So that's where we need your help. And and getting further clarification on what people want, because we've heard from a few, but like I said, that's really flexible.
One of the questions we have, and I'll throw it over to you, Ryan, is when is the new Michigan bicycle and pedestrian bridge over I-19 expected to open?
That's a great question. So the bike ped bridge is that is a project that's managed by the Arizona Department of Transportation. So that's not our project. I'm afraid I don't know the exact date. I do know that it's very close to being finished. So it should be finished before the rest of the bike boulevard is done.
Okay, great. La pregunta fue que si cuándo van a tener el oh my gosh, the bridge en I-19 para los ciclistas y los peatones, y Ryan dijo que en cuanto se acabe el proyecto que tienen planes de abrir esa parte del proyecto. One more question we have is Martina and Terry want to know, can we try the slow street pilot in the Rose neighborhood?
I'm glad you asked. So it's looking like we're going to be able to do a phase 2 of the slow street pilot. So phase 1 was just 3 neighborhoods, and we are still looking for input on what other streets we'd like to do. So with additional funding, we're going to hopefully be able to do many more streets, depending on mayor and council and some other logistics. But in terms of giving us your input on the CE Rose neighborhood, I can share out a link for the slow street survey. It's really short. It takes about 5 minutes or less, and there you can put your answer. One of the questions asks, do you have recommendations for other slow streets? So absolutely, we will consider that.
So Gabriella, this is Diana. How are y'all this evening?
Hi, Diana.
Diana.
Hi. We will be doing a phase 2 of Slow Streets. Council, the mayor and council actually had put $1.4 million of the COVID Act dollars to allow us to continue with the Slow Street. The barricades that we were using in the pilot in the beginning of phase 1 of Slow Streets is actually part of our Operation Splash. So we're going before council next Tuesday for the approval of the budget, and we'll be buying new barricades and signage that will allow us to run 3 neighborhoods at one time. So Gabriella will share y'all the link. Please let us know, and we will work on getting you set up as soon as we get all the equipment in and we can move the initiative forward again.
Ok, so la pregunta fue, ¿podemos tener el piloto de calles lentas en el vecindario Rose? Y la respuesta de Gabriela fue que la primera fase fue de 3 vecindarios y con fondos adicionales que Diana, la directora, acaba de decir que aprobaron, el concejal y la alcaldesa, vamos a poder hacer 3 vecindarios a una vez de calles lentas y vamos a poder comprar barricadas adicionales para lograr esto. I have another question here, an anonymous question. I'm going to throw it over to Ryan. The question is, why aren't the bike boulevards being repaved as one of the improvements? I live on the Liberty Avenue Bike Boulevard, and that street is in horrible condition. The streets are cracked and the speed bumps have potholes. The bike markings on the street that were just added are already fading and coming off. The new traffic circles are also full of weeds. There is little to no upkeep when these are built. The 3rd Street Bike Boulevard from Campbell to Tucson is in perfect condition. It should be the standard for all bike boulevards.
So, Fernanda, if I could take that one.
Sure.
Let me take that one. I couldn't agree with you more. Unfortunately, when Prop 407 was put forward, it did not include repaving of the roads. And then the project that we did on Liberty Boulevard, which was a Safe Routes to School initiative that we had, the funding was only to make those improvements on the bike boulevard as well as the sidewalk. So we didn't plan that well and asked for all the funding to be able to do. What we are trying to do right now is find funding to go back and make improvements on the bike boulevards and on 407 projects. Because I heard very loud and clear when we put Liberty in from the community about why we did all these improvements and not fix the road. So we are working on trying to find funding to make those improvements, understanding that we really should be touching the roads before we make the bike boulevard improvements to traffic calm. So we are working in that direction to provide that service and to make those improvements. It is a funding issue. It is a challenge, and COVID-19 has not been very helpful either for us. But know that we're working very diligently to try to fix the roads before we make these improvements.
And
you mind if Ryan, just real quick? Okay, just okay. So la pregunta fue, ¿por qué estamos agregando bulevares de bicicletas sin repavimentar las calles? Yo vivo en Liberty Bike Boulevard y la condición de la calle es horrible. Las calles tienen bachas y no hay muchas, no se está arreglando, no se está cuidando las calles. Diana Alarcón es la directora de nuestro departamento y su respuesta fue que con la proposición 407 no incluyó repavimentando. Lo que pasó en Liberty Avenue es un programa de Slow Routes to School y solo fue para las aceras y para los bulevares de bicicletas. Desafortunadamente no planeamos bien para tratar de tener los fondos para repavimentar y hacer los bulevares de bicicleta al mismo tiempo. Pero estamos buscando estos fondos para mejorar las calles de Liberty y en el futuro queremos arreglar las calles antes de agregar elementos para reducir el tráfico y calmar el tráfico. Es un desafío que tenemos en nuestro departamento y la pandemia no nos ha ayudado, pero tenemos las esperanzas que en el futuro podemos repavimentar las calles antes de empezar a hacer estas mejoras. And Ryan, go ahead if you wanted to add anything.
Yeah, I just wanted to add to Diana's comment that the Liberty Bike Boulevard, about 1.5 miles of that, some of the worst pavement is going to get repaved in the near future as part of the Proposition 101 initiative. In addition, a portion of the Michigan Fair Bicycle Boulevard, I believe between 6th Avenue and 12th Avenue, is also going to get repaved. And we're working on trying to address some a few other of the worst areas on the bike boulevards. But understanding that it's a pretty big challenge.
Excuse me, Fernanda, could you share on the screen from the PowerPoint the yellow markings from the option B? Some of the comments are asking to see it.
Oh yeah, let me just give a recap of what Ryan said and then I'll go back to that. So Ryan agregó que Liberty Avenue, una porción de Liberty Avenue de 1 milla, 1.1 millas va a ser repavimentado por la proposición 101 y que también una parte de Michigan Fair entre 6 y 12 también va a ser repavimentada. Okay, so let us look at the street markings. Was it this one right here?
Yes, it is. Thank you very much.
Okay.
Also, someone asked to see the picture from the walk and talk. Could you go back to that image as well?
Yes. So the picture from the walk and talk is right here.
Great, thank you very much.
Okay. I just want to add that if you do have any immediate maintenance needs, we do have a email and a phone number customer service line where you can have those needs met, whether it's potholes, missing street signs, any debris that have fallen into the road. Si tiene cualquier asunto de mantenimiento, tenemos un email y un número de teléfono que nos puede contactar si tiene un alto que se cayó, si hay un árbol en la calle, si hay bachas en su calle, nos puede hablar y nos podemos asegurar que eso se arregle inmediatamente. Bueno, en lo más pronto posible, no inmediatamente. The email address and the phone number is listed on the chat, but for those of you that are joining us over the phone number is 520-791-3154, and the email address is t.tdot@tucsonaz.gov. So, el número de teléfono es 520-791-3154 y el email es tdot@tucsonaz.gov. So let's go to a couple of other questions. Okay, we had a question here. Can we also see a map or diagram of what it will look like near the I-19 bridge as we live near there?
So I don't have anything that I can show you right now, but if we'll be putting up our contact information at the end of this presentation. If you want to send me an email or give me a call, I can we can discuss that, and I can talk to you about that. But the bridge is nearly done. It's just needs I believe it just needs some railings installed.
So, la pregunta fue que si podemos ver un diagrama de cómo se va a ver la calle cerca de I-19, cerca del puente. Y Ryan dijo que él puede, que ahorita no tenemos las fotos disponibles, pero si nos manda su contacto, le podemos dar esa información. Pero ahorita el puente casi está listo y nomás necesitamos unos cuantos más detalles y va a estar listo el puente. So one more question we have here is, with the data collected this week from Michigan Drive, did we see a lot of bikers? Is a bike lane necessary?
I think Gabriela might be better suited to this one. I'm afraid I'm not familiar with that.
Sure, that's a good question. We didn't collect bicycle counts, so that would be like you can do that with different tools, or typically it's just manually, so folks out on the street tallying bikers. But so we didn't do that, and we don't know for sure what the counts are. I can only speak to my experiences out there. I've went out 5 different times throughout that 12-day pilot, and I counted probably 5 people on bikes. So I'm not sure that might not be the most heavily utilized, but that's a good question. I know there have been counts done on a neighboring intersection, Pennsylvania, I believe. Is that right, Ryan?
Yes, I believe so. Sorry, you said that there have been counts done?
Yes, bicycle counts in the area.
No, we did car counts, but we have not done bicycle counts at Pennsylvania.
Okay, so la pregunta fue que si tenemos información sobre cuántas bicicletas hemos visto en Michigan Drive y si es necesario poner un carril de bicicletas. Gabriela nos informó que no contamos el número de bicicletas, pero ella sí fue varias veces y contó 5 personas en bicicletas. Y Ryan nos informó que hicimos tomamos en cuenta cuántos carros hay en Pennsylvania, pero no hicimos los números de cuántos ciclistas hay en Pennsylvania. Another question we have is, will improvements go all the way down to Liberty Boulevard to Los Reales?
I believe so, yes. I am not as familiar with the Liberty project. I saw that question. I was trying to pull up a map. I believe that Liberty does go, the Bicycle Boulevard project goes down to Los Reales, I think, but as far as additional repaving, I don't believe so.
La pregunta fue que si las mejoras van a llegar hasta Los Reales and Liberty Boulevard, y la respuesta fue que sí. We have another question here. A lot of hawk lights in Tucson only have crossing buttons for pedestrians. Bike boulevards should have buttons for cyclists to push from the road and on the correct side of the road. The new hawk light at Ajo and Liberty heading south forces you to cross over to the other side of the road and push the button from the sidewalk. A car making a quick turn onto northbound Liberty could easily go head on with a cyclist trying to get to the crossing. Crossings should also prohibit turning vehicle traffic from major streets, like on 3rd Street from Tucson Boulevard.
So the design for what we call a bike hawk was actually developed here in Tucson. There were engineering decisions that were made as far as that design that our engineers recognize that as being a safe design. We're always looking to explore alternatives. I can't speak specifically to the Ajo and Liberty hawk, but yes, some bike hawks do require users to cross over to the left side of the street. So if you cross over earlier, then you have more visibility. And then if I can just address the second part of that, in some cases we do have turning restrictions for major streets, but in a lot of cases, the bicycle boulevard is also one of the only ways to get into a neighborhood, and we typically respond to requests from neighborhoods if they're looking to limit the access. What we don't want to do is take away access that people in a neighborhood have enjoyed without their input.
Thank you, Ryan. So la pregunta fue que muchos de los hawks en Tucson solo tienen los botones para cruzar para los peatones. Los bulevares de bicicleta deben de tener los botones para ciclistas en el lado correcto de la calle. El hawk nuevo en Ajo y Liberty al sur te fuerza a que tengas que cruzar al otro lado de la calle para aprestar el botón de la acera. Un carro que está dando la vuelta hasta el norte en Liberty pudiera ocasionar un accidente, y que las cruces deben prohibir el tráfico que vaya a la izquierda en las calles arteriales como 3rd Street y Tucson Boulevard. Y lo que dijo Ryan es que los se llaman bike hawks, son cruces que aquí inventamos en Tucson, y fueron decisiones de ingeniería que hicimos aquí para asegurarnos de que los cruzantes estén más seguros, los peatones o los ciclistas. Seguimos explorando alternativas, siempre queremos seguir mejorando la manera en que hacemos las cosas, y por a la izquierda. Ok, y también dijo que sobre la segunda parte de la pregunta fue, muchas calles sí tienen restricciones de dar vuelta a la izquierda en las calles, pero también queremos tomar a los vecindarios en cuenta cuando hacemos decisiones así, porque hay muchos vecindarios que quieren más acceso a los vecindarios y no queremos limitar eso. Martina and Terry say thank you. We have a comment here. Option B worries me due to the fast drivers and their disregard to possibly hitting a car. What will be done to prevent this type of incident? Gabrielle, is that a question for you?
So, Diana here. Let me take that if I could.
Sure.
So the idea of moving the cars out and using them as a barrier between the pedestrian or the bicyclist versus having the pedestrian and bicyclist on the road is really creates a tighter feel on the street that really most folks will drive at a much slower pace. So many studies have shown that if you reduce your lane width and make it tighter, folks will drive much slower because there's a sense of being uncomfortable on the road. If you have 14, feet of driving and the average car is about 6 foot wide, you have a lot more, you have twice as much room. So you have the tendency to drive at a higher speed. But if you have a smaller lane, because it's tight, you have the tendency to drive at a much slower speed. So really the purpose behind the design is to slow the traffic down so you do not have people moving quickly along the road. And it is a different train, a different way of thinking, but all studies have shown that by reducing your travel lanes and creating a tighter space, people will travel at a slower rate of speed. And that's what we're trying to do on the street, is we're trying to get folks to move at a slower rate of speed and being respectful of the fact that that's your home, you live on that street, that's your front door, your kids are out playing, and we want people to move slow. We do not want people moving any quicker than 25 miles per hour. Actually, I'd like to get it to where people move at 20 miles per hour or less down that street. So that's really what the design is leaning toward.
So, la pregunta fue que la opción B lo preocupa porque los vehículos van tan rápido y que tal vez pueden pegar a otro carro. ¿Cómo vamos a prevenir este tipo de accidente? Y lo que dice Diana, la directora del departamento, es que los estudios enseñan que cuando los carriles están más apretados, que no se sienten tan grandes, que los vehículos viajan a una velocidad más baja y las calles se hacen más seguras para los peatones y para los ciclistas. También hemos visto que cuando reducimos los carriles de circulación acompañado con haciendo las calles más pequeñas, otra vez vemos que los carros reducen la velocidad y que queremos que los carros vayan a 25 millas por hora y Diana dice que quiere hasta que sea 20 millas por hora un día. So we have just a few more minutes, so I want to go ahead and get to the first poll for you guys. So the first one here is which alignment should we utilize for the Michigan Fair Bicycle Boulevard? We have the A, Michigan alignment, B, Pennsylvania alignment, or C, no preference. So if you could please, on the chat box, please add which one you prefer. And if you're on the phone, if you're calling us, just press *6 to unmute yourself. Just say your name and let us know A, B, or C, and we can hear you. La pregunta es, ¿qué alineación debemos usar para Michigan Fair Bicycle Boulevard? La opción es A, Michigan, B, Pennsylvania, o C, no tiene preferencia. Si nos está acompañando por teléfono, puede presionar *6 y nos dice su nombre y cuál es su preferencia.
Hello?
Yep, we can hear you.
Okay. My name is Elva Lujan from the Fairgrounds neighborhood. I'd go with A, or 1.
Perfect.
That's my vote.
Thank you, Elva. Thank you for joining us.
Thank you.
Okay, we'll just give you guys a few more minutes here to let us know what is your preference. And again, this is really important feedback. We really want to hear from you guys and know, what you prefer. This is your neighborhood. You live and walk and play, and this is where your home is. Una vez más, tenemos un par de minutitos y nos puede decir cuál es su preferencia por teléfono o por el chat. Y esto es importante porque usted vive aquí está su casa, aquí es donde vive y queremos que usted alce su voz. Okay, thank you to everybody who chimed in. We really appreciate it. You can, yes?
Gabriela made the Slow Streets link. Should we share that?
Yeah, go ahead and share the link. I do have her poll here. So there's a couple of options for East Michigan, and I'll just go back to those slides real quick in case you guys don't remember. So I'm just gonna write. Okay. So just assuming everybody is now done voting, we're going to go to the next one, and I'm going to go ahead and show you the two options. So we've got option A and option B. And this is East Michigan Drive from South 6th Avenue to East Fair Street. Aquí tenemos dos opciones para Michigan Drive, la opción A y opción B. So please just let us know what you prefer. If anyone's on the phone, again, please press *6 and let us know. Si están por teléfono, por favor, presione *6 y háganos saber cuál es su opción.
And for those that are on the phone, a reminder of the visual. Option A has parking next to the curb and then the 5-foot buffer lane next to the travel lanes. And then option B is the reverse. So it has the buffer lane and then the parking is moved on to be like a parking protected lane next to the vehicles.
For more information on slow streets, the link is listed on the chat box. For those of you on the phone, it's bit.ly/Tucson Slow Streets. Tenemos un link por los que están con nosotros por teléfono sobre información de calles lentas, es bit.ly/Tucson Slow Streets. Okay, so that concludes our presentation. However, just because our presentation is over doesn't mean that our communication with you is over. Our email addresses and our phone numbers are listed on this slide here that you can see. We're happy to answer any of your questions. If you want to email us, call us, we're always available, and we are committed to hearing from your community. So, gracias por acompañarnos. Solamente porque se acabó la presentación no quiere decir que no nos puede dar sus comentarios o si tiene cualquier otros pensamientos, opiniones. Aquí tenemos nuestra información, nuestros correos electrónicos y nuestros números de teléfono. Cualquier cosa, nosotros estamos disponibles para ustedes. I'll let Ryan, if you want to say goodbye too, and Gabriela, if you guys want to say goodbye. And I know Diana, if you want to thank everyone for being here too.
Thank you everyone for joining us.
Hey, Diana here. Yeah, I want to thank everyone for participating and taking time out of their evening to share with us their thoughts about how they'd like their neighborhood streets to look. It's very helpful to us as staff so that we're building and planning what the community would like. I also want to do a quick thank you to staff. Great job, team. Loved and appreciated the fact that we were able to do this in dual languages so that we are able to really share as much with the community as possible. So I just want to say kudos to staff. I really appreciate the great job and the effort you put forward. And also thank you again to the community for participating and helping us get the right direction to build what you would like to see in your neighborhood. So y'all have a great evening and good night.
Thank you. Good night. Buenas noches.
Thank you.
Thank you. Good night.